Hello, everyone. Katie Jordan here to help you with a little post separation, like tips and tricks. And one of those things that I was really sure separation was the co-parenting. And what is that going to look like? And how do you deal with those things? And so I have a couple of little suggestions or things that really worked for me as we were going through this whole separation process. And honestly, the number one, I can't even say it enough, number one thing you need to keep in mind is this is about your child or your children. Okay. And sometimes that is very hard to do when your emotions are running high. And of course, you know, you may be devastated, you may be all kinds of things, especially right after a separation happens. And then it's like, oh my gosh, now I have to figure out a way to work with another person and not let my emotions get the best of me. Hoo, 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 right? So, number one focus, make sure it's always about the children. Sometimes that is hard and we let our own emotions get involved, and that is where it becomes an issue. Okay. So there are a couple of things that I want to talk to you about, and they are communication and boundaries. Okay. Now, communication is key in this. And in the beginning, when things are so emotionally charged and it is hard, you can, with what helped me with the communication is writing some things down. Okay. Writing things down that I wanted to share or things like that. So then when I did share them, it wasn't full of emotion. Now that we have gone through this longer, this is definitely an easier thing to handle. Okay. Text messages are another great way of communication. I would not suggest you put things in a text message if it can be something highly emotional or something that you need to make sure that the other parent knows specifically about. Okay, so in our case, sometimes what would happen is we would talk about, okay, we have this appointment, or she needs to be here at this time, or whatever. And in order to not miss with some of those things, we created and shared with each other calendar appointments. Okay, that really helped in the communication. And even if it was something where I needed to be out of town for work for something, I went in and created that appointment. So on the other end, there weren't questions about, oh, you didn't tell me, or oh, I forgot, or anything like that, right? So communicating and finding that way that works for the two of you can definitely help with a lot of streamlining co-parenting and making that easier than it has to be. Because guess what? Just because of our differences or whatever does not mean that our children should have to endure any kind of craziness, right? Because this is not it's not about us at this point. It's about them. And how can we best help them? Because these are little people or big people in life that are just trying to figure things out too. Okay? Because their world got disrupted too. So the other thing, we have communication, and then we have boundaries. And boundaries is knowing what are those things that are acceptable to talk about and not. Because for me personally, it was hard going from sharing everything with this person to, okay, I need to back up a little bit and work on just sharing our co-parenting. and not sharing every aspect of my life. Now, oops, that was a very challenging thing because when things happen, it is in typical style. Most people want to call that person or this, however you want to use the phone now, but they wanted to put that person up to their ear and get their feedback or their encouragement or whatever. And it's like, oh, that is different now. So, setting those boundaries, knowing what you will talk about and what you won't talk about will help as well, because it really gives you some more, it gives you more like freedom or more power in having those conversations, is knowing, okay, you know what? We're not going to talk about whatever is going on in our own life outside of our child. Okay. And then the third, you guys, I forgot what the third one was because I had it written down and then my mind just went whoop, whoop. Actually, the third part of that is creating that routine and the consistency. I will tell you, we set a parenting plan that was not rotating, that was not, but it worked for us. Okay. So make sure that you are really creating that consistency in your child's life and in your own as well. Because what you will find that once you have the consistency, it is definitely going to help you get into a better routine. It helps your mind know what to expect. Because if you know, hey, my child is calling morning and night, that helps them to know too, hey, my parents care. My parents love me. And you guys, that is really what it's about. And co-parenting is about wrapping our child or children in that love and letting them know that no matter what our differences were, we are still there for them and we love them. Okay? My name is Katie Jordan, Butterfly Tribe Blueprint Coach, and I just want to sign off here, and I will be talking to you guys again soon. Bye-bye.